Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Let's Play series in Kaiserreich. Yes, we're doing another Kaiserreich series, and today we're going to be playing as Ukraine. The other option in the poll I posted last week of who to play, and I decided, screw it, why not play both? So, we got some unassigned divisions. We'll deal with this first. So what is my plan for this campaign? Well, seeing as we've gone for the national populist Switzerland, I think we're going to go for the Khrushchev path here and join the International. And hopefully Germany doesn't attack us when we do it. We will see, of course. So we'll get these guys here. Turn off the fog of war because it looks dreadful. So, what does that mean then? Well, it means I'm going to put all of my troops right now on Germany. We'll see. You know, things could easily change in the future. Research slots, of course, we're going to go for our basics that we do every single time. 3 civilian factories. So what's our factory situation looking like? 14 civilian, 6 military factory. So we're going to go for 2 military factories right here to begin with. And then we'll see what we want to do in the future. Upgrade our fighters. We're going to need some supplies. We'll get some rubber from Asia. We will get some tungsten from Asia as well. Get our Army Navy experience for free. And everything else here should be fine. So you can't do this quite yet. Oh, actually, there's nothing we can do to begin with. The Ukrainian army. Oh, so you actually can't do anything until you've actually done our future event. Okay. So this doesn't just go to speed 5 then. You are fine. Manpower is really bad. Okay. Read that in just a moment. So, 0.5. We're on volunteer only with a negative 0.7% modifier. That is awful. That's really bad. Also, why do we have like 5 different types of units? Anyway, our kingdom. The Kingdom of Ukraine proclaimed its independence with German support on 25th of January 1918. State of affairs that was quickly ratified by the Peace of Nations Agreement of Brest-Litov, and the initial experiment with socialism in the forms of the People's Republic was swiftly expunged by a German-backed coup. This operation, led by strongman and former general of the Russian army, Pavlo Skoropadsky, set the tone for Ukraine's future. It was to be a breadbasket used by military aristocratic elite from across Eastern Europe as a source of food, a convenient market for goods, and military bulwark against the weakened Russian Republic. For a time, the dispute between Germany and Austro-Hungarian ally over Ukrainian rumbled on after the Weltkrieg, eventually setting a compromise, whereas King Vasily, an Austrian archduke born of Wilhelm Franz von Habsburg, would rule. Support of Skoropadsky, who was a German allied hetman, holds incredible power on both civil and military matters. By 1927, German involvement in the Austrian Ausschlag negotiations meant that Ukraine fell de facto into the hands of the hetman, with King Vasily becoming an increasingly marginalized figure. Ukraine, under the Hetmanate, has become a breadbasket of the Reichspakt that has made its wealthy landowners extraordinarily wealthy by the expense of the Ukrainian peasantry. Now, almost 20 years after the Weltkrieg, the national situation is unstable. The Reichs forces us to sell our goods almost exclusively to nations within its sphere of influence, while syndicalists gain popularity among the downtrodden rural poor and the city workers with each passing day. Both ethnic Russians and the pro-Russian population dream of unification with their former masters to the east, while Ukrainian nationalists proclaim that our kingdom is no more than a German puppet. This is an immutable truth. Despite these many issues affecting us, our lands are prosperous and fertile, our people industrious, and our potential boundless. It's fair to say that our government is divided. While Pavel Skoropadsky does his best to solve the antagonism between the army, consisting of former officers of the Russian Imperial Army, and the civil administration, most of which actively support our current position in the Reichspakt, many of Ukraine's problems can only be solved when a majority of our population, the kulaks and peasants, have an opportunity to sell their substantial agricultural produce in Europe beyond the narrow confines of the Reichspakt. We shouldn't provoke the peasants. But we're definitely not going to go for, you know, the pro-Germany option here. Seeing as we've kind of gone somewhat pro-Germany with our Switzerland campaign. Where's the fun in doing the same thing twice at the same time? Yeah, we can't do anything with national focus, but it will mean that as soon as we can do it, we'll already be 10 days in. So, I mean, that's something, I guess. Okay, so what does this actually do? We're definitely going to get on this tree. Khrushchev's speech, 50% stability is pretty good. We were sitting at 51. That's not too bad. But we might get events making things a lot worse. 6% stability or 12% stability. Negative 6% stability, but we remove another crisis. Which we don't have quite yet, but I'm sure we're going to get in the future. And then we can call into question the Ukrainian monarchy. And then we go for the Red Hetman. Friendship of Nations, giving an extra research slot. And 3 infrastructure and 1 civilian, which is kind of awful. Not really a good choice there, I will admit. But it says in summer. What does summer mean? Well, usually like June, right? But so maybe July then is when we're going to get some sort of event being like, hey, what is the future of Ukraine going to be? Most of our troops are like already like half strength. Can I combine you guys? Is of the same template, is not at full strength. I'm going to consolidate these armies down. Okay, one of these guys have full strength. Okay. Also do the same thing here. Consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. These guys don't seem to want to consolidate, at least not for right now. But it does mean we can at least just have like one bigger army. Yeah, and that's okay. So we have a smaller army, but they are going to be better strength. We're going to go for an offensive doctrine. We're not, because I have no command power right now. Which makes sense, it's only the 26th day. You generally don't have the ability to do too much there. Germany's going to do some imperial restructuring. Russia's currently Republic, but I believe you change out soon. The Russians aren't watching. What does that do? Is that you just attacking Maklik? Yeah, no, this is just kind of like a standard stuff. Nothing too surprising quite yet. Production efficiency cap minus 10%, factory output minus 25%. Again, not actually that bad compared to what it could be. It could be a lot worse. Okay, so the anarchist has been elected in France. Don't know what's happening with everybody else quite yet, because see Spain's strengthening the kingdom. France is going to go democratic. The White Guard. The White Guard is a film based on a novel written by leader of the pro-Russian movement, Mikhail Bulgakov. The film story describes the life of one Russian family in Kiev just after the German occupation in 1918. The main characters are the Russian officers and Ukrainian citizens that participated in the defense of Kiev from those disloyal to the new regime of Ukrainian nationalists and different socialist groups comprised of soldiers in the army of Hetman Skoropadsky. The film analyzes the relationship between the Russian and the Ukrainian, conceived by Bukov as the symbol of national recollection. The White Guard encourages unity of the kingdom and a friendship of its people, though some radical groups of local nationalists consider the film to be Russian propaganda. Well, we got 3% stability out of it, so it seems like most people think it's good. Hungary over here. Got our manpower. Is it at least ticking up yet? No, 0.5. Is that not supposed to? Oh, because we're also getting modified by negative 20. What, 27% as well? We got a lot of manpower issues with Ukraine. It'd be nice if we could resolve that at some point. Armor divisions. So you're just basic infantry. You have engineers. You have artillery. You have recon. Why do 5 like different infantry divisions when they all kind of do the same thing? Like, I guess I'll just change these to be more. I guess they make them more useful, but there actually is like nothing in these that is useful at all. So I probably should re-download the I don't know why. Oh, because this is part of our faction. They won't actually line up there. They're all lining up against the Russians. Okay, I see what's happening. Is that why would like they just want to have a front line with our ally? Which I guess I understand, but I disagree with. The Denmark's going democratic. We don't know what Sweden's doing. But nothing too surprising is going on. Afghanistan is actually doing really well against India, but I'm sure they're about to lose Kabul, which is going to be sad for them, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be basically like an immediate capitulation of them. Like, it'd be nice to see Afghanistan win one time. Maybe one day I'll do like a very, very short series of Afghanistan, because I don't think there's really much you can do after you beat the Indians, but we'll see one day in the future. Yeah, so there's been a white peace. Not too surprising. Yeah, and our manpower is quite low. So what do we want to research now? Let's immediately go for research speed. Austria. What are you doing? You're going to go, you've gone conservative. That means you're not going to go down to the Nubian Confederation. You're probably just going to go status quo. But we'll see. You might piss off the Hungarians, which would be interesting to say the least. Like, if I send them all on this front, do they all go over here? Yeah, no, they all just hang out on the Polish border, so doesn't really work out super well. Is it just... Yeah, no, it's just manpower. We have 17,000 rifles to begin with. That's actually, like, really good. At least I think so. We got, like, 5 divisions here. Deploy them in Kiev. What are we not building? We're not building support equipment. Why would we not be building support equipment? All of our armies have support equipment in them. Why can you cannot deploy? Because there's no manpower. That's understandable. But once we have the manpower, you can probably deploy those ships. So we have 32 ships down here in Sevastopol. I don't want to be up here. Thank you, game. And we have 75 fighters, which we're going to crank up to 600 for now. We're not at war, so I don't think these planes should go flying anywhere yet. Like, you have 9 divisions. You have 5 divisions. Like, if Poland and Belarus also went, like, syndicalist, we could make, like, a nice alliance. Because I know there's a Polish-Ukrainian alliance. I don't know if they will do that. So I don't think anybody's getting more popular. Right now it's just very stagnant. No, we don't need to be any more popular. I think we're fine where we are. And also an agricultural crisis. We're going to lose 2 civilian factories. That's not great. And we lose 20% stability. That's very bad. Now we can see why we get a 50% bonus from whatever one is the popular front. Since the World Creek, Ukraine has traditionally relied upon its valuable grain trade with the German Empire in order to maintain its economic security. Unfortunately, the current socio-economic issues afflicting the Reich have meant that it is now more farmers interested in protecting its own farmers than taking the political unpopular move of subsidizing Ukrainian agriculture. This could be very dangerous for us without the support of the German market. Our ruling class of agrarian landowners could find it very difficult to maintain our dominance in the countryside. So thanks a lot, Germany, for turning your back against me. Also, why would you also declare war on this guy? I've actually never seen you get involved here. Have they always had the ability to do that? I'm not too sure. Like, can I even draw, like, an offensive line into here? I can. But yet the game still doesn't want to put everybody in, on this front line. But I'm not too worried. We'll see how this all turns out in the future. Because what I'd like to do is eventually join up with the International once this war breaks out. And, you know, push from this direction. Because I rarely, I think, have war over here. I think I've only done it like twice. And that's when I play as Russia and Bulgaria. Before the agricultural crisis, pro-Russian movements were rather weak and disunited, ensuring they didn't pose much of a threat to our government. The crisis led to a shocking rise in popular support of these organizations and increase in their willingness to cooperate. Yesterday, a famous Russian writer from Kiev, Mikhail Bukov, proclaimed the unification of three largest movements into a singular organization known as Faith and Nation, or the WIN. Supported by the Ukrainian church, itself heavily influenced by Moscow, the Patriarch, the population of southern and eastern Ukraine and many high-ranking officers in this movement could provoke serious instability in some parts of our country. So stability is going down again. Which one's the... I'm guessing it's... Are you the one that's... Ukrainian Unity? No, the nationalists are... Rada, the problem has always been two left, never supported. His policies ahead, man. No. I think we're fine. So we're going to go up to 150. We're going to go up to early mobilization. Should have actually gotten a limited conscription, now that I think about it. But we'll wait until we get a few more. Because again, these only cost 100. We're already like halfway there. Ivan Chernskovsky is returned from Africa. Young talented officer has returned to Ukraine. He was a member of the voluntary Ukrainian division, which supported our German allies in the regional conflicts in the Middle African bush. His books on the banks of the Congo and Safari previously made him the most popular Ukrainian soldier and writer in the entire country. He has been promoted to the rank of colonel and will soon become a commander of the 1st Cossack Division. His serves this popular figure will command an elite branch of the Ukrainian army. Welcome home, Ivan. 2% stability. Not making up for that negative 20 we took for the food situation we got going on. But if you don't worry about that, everything's good. Your 70-day focus. Again, you can fire. No, we have to do like Red Hetman for anything to actually happen. I'm guessing you also need it? Yes. Dmitry Donstov, deported from Galicia Lodimira, renowned ideological Ukrainian nationalist, has been deported from Galicia where he urged the local Ukrainian minority to resist Austro-Hungarian administration. He now claims that our silence on the crisis has exposed the weakness of our government, and that's why Ukraine should be ruled by real Ukrainian patriots. His slogan, Ukraine for Ukrainians, has attracted many citizens, especially in Western Ukraine, and graffiti has been spotted on a number of towns. This could be dangerous for the cabinet, since we've already lost considerable support in the east. So apparently nobody likes us, which is a little bit depressing. Let's... You're like a year ahead of time. You were expensive. Actually, you're actually pretty cheap. Unless the first one's always cheap. The first one's always cheap. Okay. Let's get weapons support equipment. And I'm hoping we can at least start this focus by the end of this first episode. That is my goal here, my hope. I can give territory back to the Don Cuban Union, but that doesn't seem like it's a good choice for me. And we almost how much did we get? 1.3. So it's gonna take like less than 10 days for us to be able to change our conscription law so it's not garbage. So Khrushchev criticized the Ukrainian government. Nikolai Khrushchev, prominent Ukrainian social democrat, has opened the Third Congress of the Ukrainian Syndicalist Party. He demands that the government take extreme measures to defend the workers and peasants from poverty brought on by the global crash. To further his agenda, he has proposed a new program of major social and economic reforms aimed at helping Ukraine overcome the crisis. A controversial figure is going to present his plan in the Rada soon. Stinks of Bolshevikism. But we only have 3 more days until we can actually start building up an army again, which would be nice. So let's go for limited conscription, which will at least put us up to 2.5 minus. So it's going to put us 1.5. So get like 1% more. About 0.06% of the population is mobilizing per day. That seems really low. Basically, like a lot of problems just in general. Our future. The agricultural crisis has almost shattered the Ukrainian economy and the stability of many of the nation's most important institutions. The king's grip of the country is weakening by the hour. Peasants loyal to the hetman want major land reforms. Pro-Russian malcontents and Ukrainian nationalists demand radical measures, and the syndicalists are mobilizing workers all over the country. Various political movements are struggling for power in our teetering nation, and soon we'll have to choose who will lead Ukraine into the future. Which should mean I get to pick something now? Yes, thank God. Oh, it actually bypassed automatically, which is nice. We're going to invite Khrushchev to government. It'll take us 60 days. And hopefully we can get this all done next time. That's my hope, at least. Rifles and carbines. Produced by Alexander Drakowsko, the film Rifles and Carbines is devoted to the story of struggle between the Russian white forces under General Dukatsky and the forces of the Ukrainian kingdom in 1918 in the south during the Iso-Don March. The film, which was conceived to be an answer of Bukov's White Guard. I know I'm butchering every single name here. Doesn't try to point out the possible methods of reconciliation, but raises the implications that the potential for separatists and spies of foreign powers is still be hiding among the Ukrainian population, and both willing and able to try to exploit its weaknesses. Death to the enemies of Ukraine. The game selected the option for me because I took too long to actually click it. But I think this is going to be a good time to end today's episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Anthem. If you enjoyed, press thumbs up. If you're not enjoying, you can always thumb down. Want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.